dear brothers and sisters, today is the first day of October. And we know that October is the month of mission, is the month of vocation, and it's the month of the Holy Rosary. That is why the very first day of October, we celebrate a very important feast in our church liturgy. And this is the feast of Saint Thérèse of the Child Jesus. Is a virgin and a doctor of the church. The word that has been used to describe and commonly attribute to Saint Thérèse of the Child Jesus is her simplicity. It's her littleness. That is why a lot of words describing her about littleness, her humility and simplicity. Saint Thérèse of the Child Jesus entered the religious life, the Carmelite congregation at the age of 15. And she did not go a formal education. But lo and behold, they have discovered that she had written great thoughts about God. And in her journals, in her writings, they have discovered about her great thoughts about God. And that's why she has been called to be the little flower. She has been attributed as the simple one, the humble one, in which she had become great in the eyes of God. Could you just imagine, my dear brothers and sisters, could you just imagine that an ordinary woman at her young age, and after all, she has been declared and also given the title Doctor of the Church because of her thoughts and writings and testimony about God. And the very center of her writings and testimony is the vocation to love. And this is also one thing that we remember about Saint Thérèse of the Child Jesus. And that is our vocation to love. And also reminding us that let us be contented of what we have, even in our simplicity. Grow where you are planted. Bloom where you are planted. And this is the life of Saint Thérèse that she had lived throughout. That she did not complain. Rather, whatever God has given to her, she was able to make it productive, grow, and make it fruitful. In her simplicity and humility, the more that she has become great in the eyes of God and men. In which, my dear brothers and sisters, today, as we celebrate the feast of Saint Thérèse of the Child Jesus, and as we also launch this month of the Holy Rosary, we are being reminded by her example that she has nourished her life in prayer, especially praying the Holy Rosary. In which, my dear brothers and sisters, as we launch and strengthen our relationship with God through our devotion of praying the Holy Rosary. We know, my dear brothers and sisters, that praying of the Holy Rosary is in fact leading us to see our life in great confidence and trust in God's providence. Praying the Holy Rosary also regulates our senses. Praying the Holy Rosary also leads us to humble ourselves, understanding the will and ways of God in our life. Praying the Rosary, my dear brothers and sisters, is also helping us to know more of ourselves. And most especially, praying the Holy Rosary is not helps us to discern well of things that really matter and essential. Just like Saint Thérèse of the Child, Jesus lived her life in prayer and total confidence and trust in God, that of a child, in which we are being reminded once again in our gospel today, Jesus saying to his disciples, "Amen, I say to you, unless you turn and become like children, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. Whoever humbles himself like this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven." My dear brothers and sisters, let us learn the example of Saint Thérèse of the Child Jesus, that the only way to become great in the eyes of God, and the only way to become great in the eyes of men, is that let us learn the simplicity of a child, and the humility of the child, and the sincerity of a child. My dear brothers and sisters, and also we become more great when we strengthen our faith relationship with Him, with God, through our prayers and the praying of the Holy Rosary. My dear brothers and sisters, in humility we become great. In simplicity, it leads us to a very more meaningful and wonderful journey with God and man. Amen.